this is country artist Ash Taylor, and you're listening to me on Hank Jr.'s Corner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr., part of Hank Jr. Productions, where I'm documenting life's moments through photography, videography, and, of course, podcasting. And Hank's Corner is brought to you in part by the Tiki Cove here in Land O'Lakes. I always like talking about this place because it's a great place to go. It's a beach on the lake with plenty of good food, good fun, family friendly, and of course, drinks and music, which are the best things that I enjoy the most. But if you're ever in Land O'Lakes, check out the Tiki Cove. And I'm so excited to bring to my corner today Miss Ash Taylor. Ash, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I am doing wonderful. As we talked a little bit offline, it's Monday when we're recording this, and it's after my little Nashville, Kentucky trip for those who've been following me online. So I'm a little bit, trying to get back into the groove of doing regular work, but other than that, doing well. And tell me, where are you actually calling in from today?
I am actually calling in from my home in Nashville, Tennessee. I've been working from home all day today, booking shows and filming content and all kinds of stuff. And we're here in my studio upstairs in my home. Yeah, but I'm super happy to be on here. I'm a big fan of your podcast and just happy to be here. So thanks for
Oh,
having me.
oh, that's awesome. And I always like to ask where people, calling in from because they're all over the place. And I know you're going to be
Sure.
going out on tour soon too. But also, looking at your background, I mean, I would not necessarily guess that it was your house. And when you say this is the studio in my house, well, that makes sense because I love everything that's in your background.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, my husband and I, we've been blessed to live here in Nashville, but I have the studio up here in my house, and I kind of treat this as like my office space. I tune in and do interviews like this. I write songs. I do pretty much everything up here, but I kind of just tried to make it very full of things that inspire me. So if you look behind the wall, you'll see a bunch of records. Those are like some of my favorite records. Some of them are even I owned them when I was a kid.
Mm,
So they're literally like vinyl records I would listen to and be like, wow, who's Glenn Campbell? This guy's awesome, and
mhm.
and so it's kind of like a big wall of inspiration. But I love having a creative space that is just surrounded by things that inspire me or things, people I admire, my heroes, and all of my guitars and just kind of everything I need to kind of work, if you will, and just be creative. So I love, I call it my office is what I call it, but always good to be up here in the studio for sure.
Well, that is awesome. Like I said, I'm looking at it, and your space definitely looks a little bit bigger than what my spouse gave me. That's why I call it Hank's Corner because mine's a little bit smaller, but nevertheless, it does the job. But speaking about spouses, I have to congratulate you. I know it's been a little bit, but you just celebrated your third anniversary back in May,
Yeah.
and you got to go somewhere special. Tell us about that.
Yeah, thank you so much. My husband Chris and I, we actually got married during the pandemic. And so we had quite the time, planning a wedding and all that, but we got married in 2021, and we tried about, oh, I don't know, 8 or 9 times to book a
Yeah.
honeymoon. And everything just kept getting canceled. The airline, the cruise ship, I mean, we tried anything and everything, and it all just kept getting canceled. So we finally just stopped and we're like, all right, at some point we'll finally take a honeymoon down the road when things open up. So we've kind of just been waiting, and we got so busy with just life and, other things. And it finally came to the point where it was like, we have to do this. We're going to be celebrating 3 years of marriage. We just get busier and busier, it seems, as life goes on. I think that's just how it goes, right?
Hmm.
So we finally this year decided for our 3-year wedding anniversary to take a honeymoon. So we took a 4-day cruise to the Bahamas. It was amazing. We had such a great time, just kayaking and eating different foods, experiencing different cultures, and just kind of getting some well-deserved R&R. We also spent a couple days in Miami, and just I ate my weight in Cuban food and
Mm.
Cuban coffee, and we just had a great time. But we thought it was just kind of important to finally go ahead and be like, all right, the world's opened up a little bit. We're doing good. Like, let's go take that honeymoon. So the timing couldn't have been better. I think it all worked out, and it was just a much needed break. And just happy that we were able to do that and kind of be able to make memories together, and have those experiences together. It was a really great time.
Yeah, definitely. I know some of my favorite vacations have been, cruise or traveling abroad where you get
Yeah.
to do the adventurous stuff. You talked about the
Yeah.
different things that you get to do. And, I got kids that aren't of driving age yet, but when we went down to one of the countries down south, they were able to do the four wheelers because they don't check ID or anything like that. And
Yeah.
so, you just get to do a lot of adventurous stuff in other countries, legal or not. But you bring it back and you have all those good memories. So good for you. And May's a great month because that's my anniversary month as well.
Oh,
Celebrating 25 years this May. So good for you to be in May. It's a great month.
oh, well, hey, congratulations to you, 25 years. I mean, that's incredible. We made it to 3 and I'm over here going on a honeymoon having a good time, but that's just really cool. 25 years. Congratulations.
No, I appreciate it. And,
Yeah.
we could go on and on about the Bahamas and all that good stuff, but I really want to talk to you about your latest single that came out. For those who see that it was recently on my new Music Friday post called Cigarette. And now
Yeah.
this song, for those who have listened to it, you know, while we're recording this, it's obviously a couple day after some breaking news where, the attempted assassination of a former president. And, I would have thought that you could have actually wrote it at this time, but it actually comes back from the COVID time. So tell us a little bit about Cigarette and the process that it took to get to this point to release it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's funny. I think sometimes we have our own timelines, in our head of, oh, I'd like to maybe have this song out by a certain day or time. But I actually wrote the song Cigarette has perfect as it is for today in the world that we live in right now. I actually wrote that about 4 years ago. I wrote it during the pandemic. Kind of what inspired it is at the time, we were all kind of locked up in the house. It was in the lockdown. And here in Nashville, there were a lot of riots happening in the street. And it just felt like the world went crazy. And I had a neighbor that was a hoot, man. She was so fun, but she used to go out and basically smoke a cigarette. And she would say things like, I'm just sitting out here watching it all burn from my front porch, and can't change it. And she was being funny, but it's like I watched her just go out on her front porch and smoke a cigarette and just kind of watch it all go down the toilet, if you will. And I just couldn't help but think, she's got a point. It's like everyone else is freaking out. And, there's a big difference, I think, in like being active and caring and loving on people, but also realizing like there's certain things you just can't control and you just can't change them. And that's kind of where the idea for the song came from. And I wrote it with a really talented singer songwriter, Kiana Noel Myers.
Mhm.
And so we wrote it within one session pretty quick. I I kind of wrote it and I thought it was really great, and I played it out maybe a couple times in a couple live streams, and people just seem to really like it, and it's a very fun up tempo song, and we kind of try to capture that, tongue and cheekiness of it. And so I honestly, like, I think I recorded the track that you hear today, that just came out. I mean, I recorded that probably about 7 months ago.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, I wanted to have it out way sooner. And we got super busy. There were other things. So I released the song, and my release date that I had planned well in advance was actually the day after the presidential debate. And so the day that the song came out, it did really well. And now, of course, as you're saying, as we're filming this, it's a few days after the attempted assassination of President Trump. And it just kind of feels like that song, I guess it just needed to be heard now, even though I wrote it years ago. It seems a song for the times at the moment that we're in. And I think it's interesting for me as an artist, if you will, to write a song, just purely off of observing like my next door neighbor and kind of her attitude, and turning on my TV and seeing the fighting in the streets. And it's like, I'm not a very political person by any means, and I don't care what side you're on. We're all human and we're all American. And I just kind of wake up every day and I do what I can, because I can't do it all. It's like I can't, change the world, but I can change myself and be a good light in it. And I just kind of took all of that and put it out into a song. And it's cool for me to see how people have been reacting to it, especially with all the events surrounding the release of that song.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, there's a lot of seriousness going on, and you know,
Mhm.
and you can get into the political aspects like you talk about, but to have that comic relief, you know, to have a fun song, you know, just to remember, hey, you know, we're all, you know, all human, all neighbors, all that, and to be able to listen to that, it's kind of good because you know you watch the news too much and you get disgruntled, but you
Yeah.
know, great job at putting the song out, you know, and let's go ahead and play Cigarette here on Hank's Corner.
We begin tonight with the nation already on edge as protests turn violent across America.
Nine young people are being
Turn on the TV, see the fighting in the streets. Everybody is losing their minds. No, you can't trust your neighbor. We're all told to pick a side. We're all human, but we're not always kind. And everybody's got their own way. I'm just gonna smoke another cigarette. Watch it all burn from my front porch. Rolling to the stones coming out of that old cassette. I've got no regrets, cause life's too short. So while the world goes to shit, I'm just gonna sit and smoke another cigarette. Now some call me crazy, I just think they need to chill. Take it easy and just let it roll. Cause you do what you can, cause you can't do it all. I ain't stressing when it's out of control. And everybody's got their own way. I'm just gonna smoke another cigarette. Watch it all burn from my front porch. Rolling to the stones coming out of that old cassette. I've got no regrets, cause life's too short. So while the world goes to shit, I'm just gonna sit and smoke another cigarette. Oh, light 'em up. I'm just gonna smoke another cigarette. Watch it all burn from my front porch. Rolling to the stones coming out of that old cassette. I've got no regrets, cause life's too short. So while the world goes to shit, I'm just gonna sit and smoke another cigarette. Smoke another cigarette. Smoke another cigarette. Oh yeah.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. here with my special guest Ash Taylor, and you just heard her recent song "Cigarette," and we talked about how that's a you know a great comic relief for this time, and you know I'm loving the song. And as far as a little comic relief as well, I started a new segment called Two Truths and a Lie, and I'm hoping that you'll want to play that with me. Basically, you'll give me three statements. Two of them will be true, one of them will be a lie, and then at the end of the podcast, I'll have to try to guess and figure out which one is which. So if you're game,
I'm game. I think that sounds
let's
like a
do it.
lot of fun. A lot of fun. Are you ready then?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So the first statement is I own 36 guitars.
Okay.
The second one is I slept in my car when I first moved to Nashville.
Okay.
The third statement is I learned to play the electric guitar when I was 12 years old.
All right. So we got you own 36 guitars, slept in your car in Nashville the first night you were there, and learned to play the electric guitar at 12.
You
So we'll
got it.
have to be a little bit careful in this next segment because the next segment usually like to talk about the history of the artist. So we'll try to kind of weave around that so we don't give
Sure,
away the
sure.
answer and make
Yeah.
sure that people stay tuned in till the end to hear that. But I am curious to hear about your story. I had heard that it was kind of a Gretchen Wilson experience that
Yeah.
got you going, and then here you are, rocking things out. So how did you get from watching Gretchen Wilson to here?
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, for starters, my Nana was a huge country music fan, and she always had on country music cleaning her house and cooking dinner. And so I kind of grew up really in my hometown of Bakersfield, California, rich country music history. We got Buck Owens and the Bakersfield Sound, Dwight Yoakam, Merle Haggard. So I kind of grew up around country music, but when you're talking about Gretchen Wilson, that to me is, I think, when it all really just kind of changed. I was basically 13 years old, just sitting in my grandparents' living room, and CMT was on the television, country music television, and she came flying off of that four wheeler, and man, she was singing about being a redneck woman, and I said that right there, that's what I want to do when I grow up. And my Nana said, "You want to be a redneck?" And I said, "Hell yeah." I mean, it's like she just pulled me off the couch, man, as a kid, and was like, this is what you do. And at the time, she didn't look like other female country artists at the
Mhm.
time, and I grew up with all these boys, all these brothers, and I was definitely a tomboy. And I didn't know, a lot of women at the time weren't writing their own songs. And so I, just became such a fan. And my first record I ever bought was Here for the Party, her first record. And I just listened to that thing front and back. And I started to learn that, like, she wrote these songs. And I was like, wait, you can do that? That's a job? That's a thing. So she was kind of my gateway into it. And so, from there, I started to write terrible songs in my bedroom. Kind of on and off through the years. I mean, they were just terrible, but I was just so inspired by her. I would try my hand at it. And then, I kind of picked up a guitar, and I started to do this and that, and kind of dabble in music. But I think a lot of people would probably be surprised to know that I actually started my music career by actually going to school for audio engineering.
Hmm.
So I went to school in California for that. And I mean, I worked in recording studios in LA and Bakersfield, and then from there, unfortunately, I did it, and I was really good at it. But it just wasn't creative enough for me. It was very much someone else saying, "Hey, EQ it to this. Go get me some coffee. Roll up the mic stand." And I was like, I just don't think this is really what I want to do for the rest of my life. As much as I enjoy being in the studio, I want to be more creative. So that's kind of when I revisited songwriting, and I started to get more involved. And, just kind of what happened is, honestly, I was really just trying to learn, like, how do you write songs? How does this work? And so I kind of started to look online, being in Bakersfield, there wasn't really any resources for me to kind of figure out how to write better songs. And how do I do this music thing, like, well, how does it work? And so I knew eventually I would have to move to Nashville because everybody did. And so I was like, okay, well, in the meantime, how do I just get better at the craft of writing songs? So I one day kind of stumbled on this online songwriting community called Songtown USA. And if you've never heard of them, I always recommend them. They're great. But it's an online songwriting community ran by two guys, which is Marty Dotson and Clay Mills. And both Marty and Clay are huge hit successful songwriters that live here in Nashville, and they have done it, longer than I've been alive. And I got just really involved in their community, and I started to learn from them, and send them songs to critique, and just kind of, got going in with them. And after a while, Clay Mills basically said, "Hey, I think you're super talented. I love your songs. You're never going to get any further, though, writing these in your bedroom in Bakersfield, California." And I was like, he's right. I mean, that was like a cold hard truth. It was like I need to do it. So Clay came back, and Clay is just a wonderful human being, and also a very talented writer. He wrote songs like "Beautiful Mess" for Diamond Rio, and "Don't Think I Don't Think About It" by Darius Rucker, and I mean the list goes on and on. But he offered me an internship there at Songtown, USA. Him and Marty did, where basically if I could get out to Nashville, I could be their intern for a year. And I said, well, man, I'd be dumb if I did not take them up on that opportunity. So I basically literally had never even seen Nashville, never visited, nothing. I just kind of sold everything and I jumped on a plane and I moved out here. And I was their intern for the first year. And I cannot tell you what a blessing that was and how insightful it was, being able to learn so much about the business and songwriting from two absolute pros, and then to be introduced to so many people. It was just, looking back, I'm like, man, I definitely think I made the right decision. At the time, a lot of people thought I was crazy for just up and leaving and coming out here to Nashville, but I'm like, that was a great opportunity, and it kind of set me on my path. And so I came here to write songs for other people. I never thought I would be an artist, truthfully. I just love to write songs. It was really creative, right? So it kind of helped me with my non-creative career path before. And I can make demos and do things like that because of my knowledge in recording. So I was just being a songwriter, and I loved every second of it. And then multiple people came up to me after about a year or so of being here in Nashville, and they said, we know you're a songwriter and we think that's awesome, but I just want to let you know you're really an artist. And I was like, nah. And then I over time I really realized that they were right. And it's so interesting, I think as we get older and we change and we kind of figure out our path in life. But I started to record my first EP, Bakersfield, named it after my hometown. I started to take songs and not worry about who would cut them, what big artists we may want to record this, but like, what's my story and what do I want to sound like and what do I want to say? And that just kind of put me on the path of being an independent artist. And I'll tell you what, I've done this job now for years and I love it. And I've just never felt more at home. And it's such a good, I love being an artist. Like, it's such a good mix of all the things that I love. And I get to be creative. I get to be business minded. I love playing shows. I love getting to travel. I love writing songs. I love being in the studio and getting to create something. I love coming on podcasts like this and, getting to share my story with you and your listeners, and just meet new people. Like, I love being an artist. So, that's kind of the story, I guess, in short, though, of how I basically got here today, and, how we're able to sit here and talk, and it all worked out pretty well.
It,
So,
it did. I'm glad that you were willing to take that leap. Sometimes those things can be a little scary. But I was also kind of refreshing to hear about the Gretchen Wilson, because I've done about 125, 6, 7 interviews over this last couple of years, which I'm very happy of. And a lot of the artists, when they talk about female inspirations, it's your Carrie Underwoods, your Shania Twains, and
sure.
those. And then when I heard, somebody said, "Oh, Gretchen Wilson," that's great. Let's get her on, because that
Yeah.
is just a lot of like you said, redneckness, for lack of a better term,
Yeah.
and I love that.
Well, oh man, and I appreciate that. And I think for me, I mean, I love Carrie Underwood and Miranda Lambert, and I mean, you name any of these amazing female artists. But for me, you know, I I don't look like Carrie Underwood. It's, and I love her music, but to me, it's like I'm a kid from a farm town in Central California. When Gretchen Wilson opens her mouth and she sings and she's telling me these stories, she's singing about my life. And so to me, that just resonated so deeply. I mean, it's like she gets me. The Denim and Rhinestones and all that. It's like I've seen Carrie Underwood in concert every tour she's ever done. Like, I'm a big Carrie Underwood fan, but it's like it's not the same as Gretchen Wilson, because I look at
Mhm.
Gretchen Wilson and I go, she gets me, right? She's singing about my life. And I think that's what country music is, right? It's real songs for real people. And at least that's what I try to do as an artist, right? I try to share my stories. I write what I know about, what I love. And I just hope that kind of comes through. I want to be as real and as authentic with people as I can be. And even songs that I haven't, lived, but maybe like, talking about Cigarette that we just played a little bit ago. That's my opinion and that's my outlook on the world that I'm sharing with you. And there's 3 chords in that whole song. And so I try to stick real close to that 3 chords and the truth. Although sometimes I do put a 4th chord in there just to be fancy, but but yeah, that's what I love about the genre of country music though. It's the stories and it's real people. And, I'm just trying to be open and honest with, my fans and people that listen to my music and hope that one day I can inspire some kid to go, that's what I want to be when I grow up, and have them just be encouraged to be their real authentic self. Like, it's okay if you're not, 100 pounds and can sing every octave and like it's cool. Just be you. There will never be another one like you. And so that's kind of what I hope to do and just encourage the next generation. Hopefully one day.
Well, that's definitely an awesome story, and I think it's most fitting right now to do a double play. We'll play your song Bakersfield, followed by Play Like Ken here on Hank's Corner.
I come from a dusty little town, straight off Highway 99. Nothing but oil fields and good people, just trying to get by. And we'd go out after midnight, racing down Rosedale Drive. Watch the rodeo, listen to the radio, soaking up a real good life. And we are who we are, and we work damn hard, just trying to make a living. But on Saturday night, we're at the Crystal Palace, rocking to Buck and Merle. Yeah, we're loud and we're proud, and we have our own sound. We're so much more than a small town. Yeah, something about the streets make you never wanna leave. It will forever be home to me, Bakersfield. Bakersfield. And I'd hang out at the In-N-Out, oh, with all of my friends. Sunday was church and Monday was school, then we started all over again. It was in those bars I first played guitar and learned who I am. It may not look like much, but there's something in that dust that pulls you in. And we are who we are, and we work damn hard, just trying to make a living. But on Saturday night, we're at the Crystal Palace, rocking to Buck and Merle. Yeah, we're loud and we're proud, and we have our own sound. We're so much more than a small town. Yeah, something about the streets make you never wanna leave. It will forever be home to me, Bakersfield. To Buck and Merle. Yeah, we're loud and we're proud, and we have our own sound. We're so much more than a small town. Yeah, something about the streets make you never wanna leave. It will forever be home to me, Bakersfield. Oh, Bakersfield. Dusty little town, straight off Highway 99. really fit in while the other girls played with their Barbie dolls. I was busy jamming on my flat top, saying only boys can play guitar and girls should look pretty like a movie star. Well, I don't mind pink, but my mama told me I could be anything I wanted to be. Said when I grow up, I'll show them, gonna look like Barbie, play like Ken. Lead me to the stage, fire up the band, gonna rock this town with this guitar in my hand. Got my lipstick on, let my hair down, I'm cranking it up to 10. Gonna look like Barbie, play like Ken. Well, I made it down to Music Row, just doing my thing and selling out shows. Some say girls can't top the charts, but I just smile and say, well, bless their heart. You know I'll prove them wrong and put them in a song, and I won't stop till the world sings along, 'cause I look like Barbie, play like Ken. Hey, lead me to the stage, fire up the band, gonna rock this town with this guitar in my hand. Got my lipstick on, let my hair down, I'm cranking it up to 10. Gonna look like Barbie, play like Chris. Now just 'cause my guitar is made out of bling doesn't mean I can't be mean. Just watch me bend these strings. Oh, lead me to the stage, fire up the band, gonna rock this town with this guitar in my hand. Got my lipstick on, let my hair down, I'm cranking it up to 10. Gonna look like Barbie, yeah. Lead me to the stage, fire up the band, gonna rock this town with this guitar in my hand. Got my lipstick on, let my hair down, I'm cranking it up to 10. Gonna look like Barbie, play like Ken.
And you just heard my special guest, Ash Taylor, with the double play, Bakersfield and Play Like Ken. Both great songs. I love them. And Play Like Ken is just so fun too. And you seem to have, a little bit of, storytelling things and a lot of, fun stuff. And I really like that because, I bet it's a great performance that you put on out there with these different songs.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I think a lot of that kind of goes to, again, the whole writing what you know thing. But, if you kind of study, we talked about I'm from Bakersfield, California. And of course, Bakersfield was the original Nashville. And we had so many great artists that actually are from the same hometown as me. But if you really listen to Bakersfield country music or California country,
Mhm.
a lot of like Buck Owens songs are very fun and up tempo and they're tongue in cheeky. And that's just something I have always loved and enjoyed. And of course I have some soft ballads and stuff like that. But I try to make my songs fun because I want people to be able to listen to them and have them immediately be like, oh, what is this? You hook them in, and I just try to write songs where it's like the storytelling, but maybe it also has a cool guitar riff, and maybe it kind of makes you want to tap your foot and dance and sing along, and it kind of just, I don't know, bring joy, if you will, with what I create and what I put out there.
I love it. I definitely do. And, one of the things I do have to talk about, as you see back here, and hopefully one of these days I'll get a picture of you to put up there on the wall as
Yeah.
well. But I do photography and videography for music artists whenever I get the chance. And my understanding, because I love to plug, other photographers and videographers, is that your husband does a lot of the work. Tell me about that.
Man, he really does. Yeah. So my husband Chris wears many hats. So for starters, he is my manager. He is my band leader and my lead guitar player. He also runs full time a very successful YouTube channel called Chris Cooking Nashville. So he has an incredible journey of basically changing his health and his life around. And he started a channel where he basically creates recipes for a low carb lifestyle. He's lost over 130 pounds on that. I for years now have been on keto, a low carb diet. It's how we feel our best and look our best. But my husband, because of getting into YouTube, went down a rabbit hole, which I'm really grateful he did, of learning how to do video and how to color correct and edit and some photography as well. And so if you look at for example, the last music video that we put out would have been for a full band track was my Christmas single, which was a cover of a Buck Owens Christmas classic called Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy. So my husband filmed part of that. The only parts he didn't film are the parts where you see him playing guitar alongside of me. And then he went and edited and color corrected and pretty much directed and put that whole thing together with me. There's also several acoustic video performances that you'll see on my YouTube channel. We did an acoustic version of Cigarette. I also did one of a brand new song called Stuck on Indiana, and my husband filmed, edited, and did all of those. We also just last week shot a music video for Cigarette, which will be coming out soon, probably in the next couple of weeks. And he filmed and directed and edited all of it. So he wears many hats, and I don't know why he puts up with me or how I got so lucky, but I really do. I really do appreciate my husband. I really do. We're very much like a team and everything that we do. And I know it sounds cliche, but he is literally just my partner in every area of life. And so we work really hard, and we have to work together and just rely on each other. But yeah, so I mean, he does pretty much at this point all of my music videos that I've been putting out. When I play shows, he's usually right there on my right hand side. He plays lead guitar along with me. In all of the records, like for example, Cigarette, the track that we just put out, that's my husband and I. We literally play, between the two of us, we play every guitar on every record that I put out. So we go in and we have someone put down drums and bass, and then I play basically all the rhythm parts. Sometimes I will play lead, put a little lead on there. But mainly all the guitar solos and all those riffs you hear on my records, that's my husband Chris playing. So he's a man of many talents, and just really admire all of his different skills.
Well, that is awesome. And first of all, congratulations to Chris for being able to make that lifestyle change. I know it's not easy, so I applaud him for that. And if I ever get the chance, it sounds awesome. I definitely would love to collaborate with him on a video sometime.
Oh,
That just
he would
sounds
love
like
that.
or at least a talk shop, if we can't make it
Yeah.
happen, but that would be
Yeah.
cool. We're going to go ahead and play Cake. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the two truths and a lie.
Why can't a man look at me like I look at Kate? Well, I'm in my party dress with frosting on my face. He left me all alone on my birthday. Asshole. But it's alright, yeah, I'll be fine. And all that remains is one more bite to drown that bitter taste. And tomorrow he'll come crawling back, but I'll just laugh it off. 'Cause I'm already moving on, 'cause he ain't what I want. I want a man to look at me like I look at cake. He can't stop himself from taking a taste. If he wanted me like a second piece, I'd have it made. Oh, I just want a man
that was Cake by Ash Taylor, my special guest here on Hank's Corner. Of course, I'm Hank Jr., part of Hank Jr. Production, where I'm documenting life's moments through photography, videography, and of course, podcasting. And Cake's another one of those fun songs as well. And I tell everybody that I can't go a podcast without talking about food. And since you brought up, or not since you brought up, but since the song's called Cake, what is your favorite cake? I know mine's German chocolate. Do you have one?
Ooh, I like all cakes. I do not discriminate against the cakes. But if I had to pick one, I am a big fan of like a chocolate cake with like peanut butter frosting
Mm.
and then like fresh strawberries on top. Oh, like it doesn't get better. That's my favorite. Usually around my birthday, like that's kind of what I'm into for sure. It's my fave.
Yeah. So when is your birthday?
September 24th.
All right, we'll have to keep that in mind. Maybe we can get
Yeah.
a cake with peanut butter and strawberries to you.
I would
I
love
know
that.
every year mine's German chocolate, and that's the only time I really ever have it. I keep that like a little bit special. My mom had always done that, and my wife has taken over the tradition whenever we can find it. But like
Aw.
you, I don't think I discriminate too much in the cake thing. But I think if anything, I tend to lean more towards pie and ice cream too. So
Oh,
I love a lot of desserts.
yeah. I'm a big ice cream fan. Like pretty much any flavor I will gladly eat. But yeah, I definitely am with you though. It's like a birthday or special occasion. Can't have it all the time. Definitely not.
Yeah, and I've never been to Bakersfield. I mean, I know songs about Bakersfield that are pretty
Yeah.
famous, and I will be going back to California in August, but it'll be in the Disneyland area, the
Oh,
Anaheim and Los Angeles.
fun.
Yeah, my wife's a huge Disney fan, and so I'm going
Cool.
out there for work, and so of course I got to bring her and the family along. So we'll
Yeah.
have a good time doing that. But if I were ever to get into the area of Bakersfield, what are some of the good foods that they have out there?
Mexican food, my
Oh,
friend.
yes.
That's that. Yeah. Probably honestly some of the best authentic Mexican food. And I don't even mean like Mexican food restaurants. I mean like you're going to be in a dirt field and there will be like a taco truck and that's where you go and it will just be the most incredible Mexican food of your life.
Hmm.
It's like unless you speak Spanish, you're going to order by the number. And I mean it's just real authentic and nothing beats it. Nothing beats it. It's just so good. When I moved out here to Tennessee, that I will say that's the one thing that I really miss. I love Nashville. I love Tennessee. I love my home. But like I'm going home in October to Bakersfield. We're playing a show there in my hometown. And I've already told my husband, I'm like, we're going to get tacos, like real tacos. That's a big one. The other thing that I'm a big fan of, if you're in California at all, is you have to go to In and Out Burger. You just have to. It's I don't know if you've been before, but it's the best. It really is.
Yeah, I've done an In-N-Out Burger before, but I don't think it was in California. I can't remember where it was. That it may have been, but definitely when you talk about the Mexican food, I feel exactly the same way. Left my home
Yeah.
state of Texas to move here to Florida,
Yeah.
and that is just one of the things that we don't have is good. And of course, California Mexican is a little bit different than Tex-Mex, both great in
Sure.
their own ways, but we don't get any of that over here. So
Yeah.
maybe I could find something similar when I'm out in the Anaheim area because I do crave Mexican quite a bit.
I highly suggest it if you're in Bakersfield. That's the place. But yeah, I'm right there with you. I dream of tacos. you know.
Oh, oh, that's awesome. So let's talk about the two truths and a lie. So, earlier in the podcast, you gave me three statements. Two of them are going to be true, and one of them's a lie. And I need to figure out which one it is. Now, like I said, it's a new segment. You're the third person that I've tried this with, so I'm 2 for 2. I don't know that I will go 3 for 3. I was surprised I went 2 for 2,
Okay.
but let's see what I could do about 3 for 3. So.
All right.
Um, I'm going to say that when you got to Nashville, you did sleep in your vehicle.
Mhm.
Based on the guitars all in the background, I think you probably have 36, unless you're going to give me a higher number. And then that would leave the learn to play the electric guitar at 12 as the lie. How did I do?
You nailed it. You
Oh,
nailed it.
okay.
I tried so hard. I was like, how can I throw you a curveball? And yeah, you figured it out. You
Well,
figured it out.
3 for 3. I mean, my streak can't go on forever, but I'll take 3 for
Yeah.
3.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, great job. You nailed it.
Well, I definitely love this segment, and it's definitely interesting to find out, in a different way about people. And
Yeah.
you mentioned, going out on the road. So tell us a little bit about that because you're going out soon.
Yeah. So we actually are kicking off a tour next month in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Um, I'm so excited. It's just an understatement how excited I am. Especially after the pandemic and not being able to, tour and do music for a while. This is our first time back out there, and I'm so excited. But yeah, so we're calling it the Stuck on Indiana tour, based off of a song that I'm going to have coming out shortly this fall. And basically we're kicking off in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I don't know if you're familiar with Sweetwater, the music retailer, but we're actually kicking it off there at their headquarters.
Hmm.
So we're there the 15th and the 16th of August, and we're going to be doing performances. I'm actually going to be teaching a master class on songwriting, if anyone's in the area, and just get to kind of share my tips and tricks, and hopefully motivate and encourage people to write songs, and just kind of express themselves through art. And then from there, we're going all over the place. The tour is going to go through the end of next year, so the end of 2025. But we're going to North Carolina, Virginia. We have some Tennessee dates. We're going to California, Arizona. I mean, we're going all over. We have a whole batch of dates we haven't even announced yet.
Well, we got to
So
work on getting you to Tampa in the winter time. That would be
Hey,
great to have you down here.
I would love that. Are you kidding? I would love to come to Tampa. Yeah. But that Florida is actually a place that I have never played at before that I would love to. So maybe we can work something out. But yeah, it's gonna be so much fun, and just so many great shows. And I'm just looking forward to getting to, play music and just get to meet fans, and just, hopefully make some new ones and have a good time. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, definitely sounds like a great time. And you can find a lot of this information on Ash's website, ashtaylor.com. You can also go to her Instagram. She does have a link tree there as well that has a bunch of good stuff. And Ash, this was great having you on. I mean, you're like a refreshing, just exciting person to talk to, and I'm glad you agreed to come on. And if you ever want to be a guest on Hank's Corner, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thank you again just for having me. Like I said, I've actually been a fan of your podcast for a while. So, when you reached out, I was like, oh, this is so exciting. So thank you for having me and just let me share my story and my songs with everybody. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much.
Got my whiskey on ice, my favorite vice. Gonna spice up the night.
Grab your lighter, roll you a smoke. Girl, them lips have never been hotter.
Feel the heat off your skin. I could never get enough of this. And where I go, don't it feel so right? We're burning it down tonight, and we're just watching it burn, watching it burn. We're just watching it burn, watching it burn. So hold me tight, by your side. Let's let our sparks ignite. 'Cause we're just watching it burn, watching it burn. Watching it burn.
Get you home, we're all alone. Candles burning and the lights down low.
You kiss me, I come alive. Got that fire in your eyes.
Twirling you to a straight sound. Watching that dress hit the ground.
And where I go, don't it feel so right?